Hi. So, I have now 3 Zygo hybrids. I just got this one. I've kind of gone crazy getting orchids. I bought some online, and I found this one at Trader Joe's. This is a Zygolumia. It's slightly different than a Zygopetalum. My Zygopetalum is not in bloom right now, but this is a Zygolumia. This is a Zygonesia, and this is a Zygopetalum. All
zygos.
Right, zygos. So let's talk about zygos. I've had my Zygopetalum and my Zygonesia for years now, a few years now.
But she just now got that one.
Right.
Like pretty much yesterday.
Yeah, I did. I got it yesterday. I went to Reno because my bird needed to go to the avian vet for a checkup. And I said, well, while I'm in Reno, I should check out the Trader Joe's there because my Trader Joe's in Carson has been awful.
Mm-hmm.
Only
family
phalaenopsis.
offices.
Right? Ew. So.
Those are for beginners.
Or people that live where it's warm because they just die on me. So anyways, I got this one and it's really pretty and I like it a lot. I'm a sucker for purple and green. I think purple and green is a good color. I like it. I like purple and green. Don't you think they look kind of punk rock? I think they're kind of a punk rock flower. So this is a Zygolumia, I believe.
Zygolumia.
I hope I'm saying that right. It's kind of weird. Anyways, these are my Zygos. Let's talk about, since I don't really know all that much about this one yet, because I just got it, we're not really going to talk about that except for, yay.
And she still has the tag on.
I do still have the tag on me to take it off. So, she's going to sit over here and keep her leaves out of my face. Yeah. This is my Zygonesia, and she is in bloom with another spike. Got this spike and this spike. Those pretty flowers. And so we smell the flowers and see how they smell. Do they smell?
I can't see how they smell.
Do you smell them though? Smell them. You gotta really shove your nose up in there. Do you smell them?
Yeah.
What do they smell like?
Vanilla.
Oh, she thinks they smell like vanilla. I think they smell kind of like
Vanilla chocolate?
flowers. They have a floral scent
They
to them.
smell like honey almost.
It's a sweet floral scent. It's lovely, but it's not strong. I mean, you really do have to shove your nose up in there to smell it. This particular plant likes to shed its leaves. They turn yellow and they fall off. That's just kind of a habit that this plant has, which I kind of, at first I didn't like it, but I like it now because it keeps the plant compact. I don't have to worry about finding room for all these extra leaves. So that's kind of nice. I have kept my Zygos in the traditional bark medium, and I'm going to be repotting this guy after it's done blooming. But this one's in bark and perlite, and maybe a dash of moss. So I've had this one for a few years now. It's done really well for me. I let it dry out. I have not repotted it in probably a year.
It smells pretty good. I can't wait to describe the smell.
Yeah, it smells good though, but not strong, right?
If you have one of these, smell it.
Smell it. Zygonesia.
So you know how it smells.
This one, let's smell this one. I've tried to smell this one the other day. Oh, it's got a... Oh, it has a floral scent. A really, really faint floral scent that has a little hint of grass. I don't know. It's planty. It's a floral planty smell. If that makes sense. I don't know. But it actually does have a smell. I didn't realize it until I brought it home, and now I can smell it a little bit better, but they're not strong smellers. Anyways, back to their care. Let's see. So this one, Zygonesia. This one is my Zygopetalum. Let's check this beast out. This thing's a beast. When I got it, it had small bulbs. All the bulbs were small, like this little guy. And now, as it's been growing, the bulbs have been getting bigger and bigger, and the leaves have also been getting longer and bigger. Like, these plants are not small plants. So if you plan on keeping them for a long time, just remember you're going to need room. This one's been growing really fast for me, really well. I did a repotting on it because I hadn't repotted it in like a year or two. I still have, oh, you can see the roots. Are they starting to move? They're still kind of staying as a brick in here. Look at this. See the roots there? I don't know if there's a glare, but those are the roots. They're still looking good, but it really needed to be repotted. And it's putting out more new growth. Right here, there's another new growth somewhere else in here. This one just bloomed for me this fall, past fall it bloomed. And the flowers are really long lasting on these plants, especially the Zygo. This one will last for at least 2 or 3 months, I think. And with this other bonus spike on the way, I've never gotten 2 spikes off of this one, so it's liking it. Right. So let's talk about the Zygos and their needs. First off, lighting. I found these guys not to be all that picky about lighting. They will grow and bloom for you in an east-facing window. They like light. They can handle a good amount of light. This one got a tiny bit of sunburn right here when I had it outside, and it got some southern light at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So don't do that. Don't give them southern light at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They like a little bit of shade, dapple shade, but east-facing window or a south-facing window with some shade will do really well for them. I do think they really like sun because these leaves can handle a lot of sun. I grow them, these guys have been growing, this one has been blooming under lights, and I grow them under a reddish purple grow light LED, and that light is equivalent to 60 watts. It is not a 60 watt light, but it's an LED light that is equivalent to a 60 watt compact fluorescent. And I have 2 spikes. Some people say, oh, you don't really need red lights that's for other plants, that's for cannabis. What do the orchids need it? No. The red spectrum of the light and the sun is what plants use when they are going into bloom mode. So I do believe that a red grow light will help you get better blooms. Am I 100% right? I don't know. I have an extra bloom on here that I didn't have previously. That's not true, because they were growing with the sun. But it has bloomed much better for me this year than it has in the past years. Watering. I really just water them like any other orchid. I don't do anything really special. This one is pretty dry right now. So when I do let them completely dry out, like I let this one, also extra holes. If they're dry, soak them. Soak them really well. And then set them and forget about them. Don't dote over them. Do not overwater them. They're an orchid. They don't want overwatering. No orchid wants, that's not true. There's some that do, but these guys, just water them like you would, I'd say, a Phalaenopsis. They want that dry out time. And they have some pretty hefty roots. I don't know if you can see. I repotted this one so you can see its big ass roots. Yeah. They're big plants. You need space for these guys. With big flowers too. Look at these flowers. Gorgeous. So watering, water them. Let them dry out. I allow them to dry out and I don't freak out. They're fine. They don't mind. I'm going to be repotting this one. So potting. I like to give them, these guys have been potted in the conventional bark perlite mix because I figured, well, if it's not broken, why fix it? It's kind of my attitude there. Oh my god, that's a big root. Okay, this new growth here, I don't know, can you see that? There is a huge root. There it is. That right down there. That is a big root. These things are monsters. They really are big plants. So you're going to need a good sized pot eventually as they grow. And an airy mix, but a water retaining mix. I poke extra holes in my pots for these guys. I think that's been beneficial for them. And I'm going to try this one in semi-hydro since I've had it for a few years. I'm sorry, little guy. I'm going to experiment with you. Maybe. I don't know. I might wimp out. I really like this plant. But I do want to try it in semi-hydro. This one, I've done somewhat of an experiment. It is in a cocoa with leca and perlite. And the cocoa retains moisture, yeah, really well. And also allowing the water to drain. Drainage is really important with these guys, just like with all orchids. So really pot them like most orchids. Water like most orchids, pot them like most orchids. Give them as much light as you can. They're not that picky. Here's where they're picky. They're not even picky about humidity. I leave these guys in pretty dry. Like when I have them outside, the humidity is 20%. And they don't seem to mind lack of humidity in the air. That doesn't seem to be an issue for them. The real issue, I think, is temperature. I live where most of the year they are inside. And inside, under lights, they might see the temperatures get up to the 70, maybe 72. But most of the year, they are kept in 70 degrees during the day. At night, the temperature in my house can drop down to 55 degrees 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 12 degrees Celsius, or 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 15 degrees Celsius. So 70 degrees Fahrenheit, or 21 degrees Celsius during the day, and a good drop at night. Summertime, when they're outside for the summer months, this one had seen some pretty high temperatures. I think in the little grow tent, the temperatures got up to 100 a few times, but only for a short period of time. Like they only got up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit for maybe an hour, and then it quickly dropped down after that. These guys cannot handle prolonged heat. They have to have that cooling off at night if you're going to have them in the heat. And I think that's where things get tricky for some people. So it's in the summertime, they might see an hour of 100-degree weather. But on average, the summer times tend to be 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 26 degrees Celsius during the day, 80 plus, somewhere around there. And then at night, it'll drop down to the 60s, maybe 55, but around 60s, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius at night in the summertime. So they're seeing a big drop in change. This one has been through a lot over the years, but I always let it dry out. I don't keep it evenly moist constantly. This guy has gone through some drying for prolonged periods of time at some months. And it's fine. Look at it. It's doing great. Yeah, temperature. They need to cool off. I think that's definitely the biggest thing, is they really need to cool off at night, at least, if you're going to keep them warm. If you don't live somewhere that's mainly 70 degrees year-round, if you live somewhere that's super hot, you might have a hard time with these guys. Although I think they would do really well in an air-conditioned house. I think air conditioning would do them